demonstrate how to disassemble and reassemble the RAP4 M1919 fusion engine conversion. I'm going to start by disassembling or removing the box mag from the main gun. I find that it helps to be using a bucket due to the weight and the bulk of this gun. So I have it sitting on a bucket right now, and I will take out the box mag. First thing you want to do is open this up so you can lift up the hatch. Pull this thing on the back, the hatch will come up, and you disconnect the wiring on the box mag. There you go. You clear that wire. I'm going to go ahead and close this up for now. And once that's detached, you can then undo the screw on the outside here, and you can pull the box mag out just slightly. Once it's pulled out, you can actually grab the wire here, which is the BB feed spring, excuse me, and you can pull this out. It's just friction held in place. And maybe I can pull it out from the back. There you go. You just pull that out, and this box mag will lift right out. Now, when you take the box mag off, the mount needs to come off with it. So it helps again to use something where you could support the weight and also remove the box mag. Okay, now that I've removed the box mag, I'm moving the gun up to my workbench and demonstrate how to remove the fusion engine from the main gun, as well as remove the barrel and then reassemble it. So to take out the fusion engine, let's go ahead and first let's remove the battery. Just take this battery out here, it's already disconnected. You're going to be able to take the fusion engine out all together with the FCU still attached to it. So once the battery's taken out, the next thing you want to do is actually disconnect the trigger switch. So there's a easy disconnect connector here. That just gets tucked back in, but that's the trigger switch. Alright, going to close that up. I'm going to first take out the two rear mounting screws here using a 3mm hex wrench. Take out the two screws, there's one on each side. I'll flip the gun over and take the screw out on this side as well. And then there's just one other screw that's holding the engine in place at the bottom. This you'll want to take out using a 3/32 hex key, and that takes out the engine. And once that's removed, you can actually just push the engine back. Notice I'm just gripping it by the airline here, tilt it up, and the whole thing will slide out right out the bottom. And there you go, fusion engine's removed. You can now do any servicing or maintenance you need on this. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. Okay, next, to remove the barrel, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually take out the 4 locking screws on the barrel hop-up block. You'll be using a 2.5 hex wrench. You take out these 3 screws on the side here. Just loosen these up. These 3 actually hold the block together, and this 4th screw goes all the way through and actually attaches the block to the lower mounting point underneath here. So I'm going to just unscrew that, and that will now release the block. And I should be able to take this whole block part out just like this. Alright, now once that's removed, you can actually slide the barrel back out this way, and this lower block will fall out the bottom. There you go, lower block is now removed. To get the barrel out, because it's so long, you actually have to take the barrel out the front of the gun. So now that the barrel is loose, you start by unscrewing the outer barrel. And as you pull that away, you just pull the hop-up and the barrel out with it and set that aside. I'll show how to put this together. It actually takes a different procedure for reassembling it. But set that aside, and at that point it's completely disassembled and it's ready to put back together again. Okay, to reassemble the RAP4 M1919, you have to do things in a specific order to get this barrel back into the gun properly. Once it's been pulled out, it actually doesn't go easily back into the front. It's just very hard to get it aligned from the back of the barrel into the front. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the front cap of the barrel. The front cap has a spacer inside of it, which is what holds the inner barrel in place. And I'm going to set that aside. Next, you're going to want to take your barrel and thread it on to the main body. Okay, once that's locked in place, you actually then can take the lower part of the mount block. You pull the barrel back out as such, slide the lower block in place, and then slide the hop-up out, slide the lower block in place, and then put the hop-up back into its cradle right here. Now once that's in place, you can then take the upper part with the 4 screws rather, and set that right in there. Again, using your 2.5mm hex key, you can clamp these 3 down, and then the 4th one locks into the bottom plate and locks this whole assembly in place. It goes a little bit further down. There you go, good to go. Now I'll just make sure that the hop-up is seated all the way in. Just push it all the way that way so it's fully seated. Once the hop-up's in place there, then you can go back and actually reassemble the front. You take the inner barrel and make sure it goes into the spacer, and then you can screw this back onto the end. So this part goes on last, which allows you to have everything fit back together again. Alright, now that the barrel's back in place, we can go ahead and put the fusion engine back in, and it's easiest to do this from underneath actually. You slide the fusion engine back it in, just tuck some of the wires up in there, and once it clears that little tab there, you can actually then flip it over, and we'll open up the top and just get the fusion engine nozzle into the hop-up. There you go. Okay, now that's in place, you just have to notice I just use the airline to help center the holes right here. Put in the rear mounting bolts and screw that in place. Just one on each side. There you go. And then at the bottom, you can take the last mounting bolt here and add that to the front of the fusion engine and to the tab at the bottom of the hop-up. Just gently tighten all these down. Push this wire back through. There you go. Fusion engine's back in the gun. At this point now it's a matter of putting the barrel back in place, the box mag back in place. So I'm going to move back over to the bucket to do that since it makes it easier. Okay, to reinstall the box mag onto the gun, it's good to have the this wire can be pulled out all the way removed from the back here. So we're going to start by doing that. You're going to take this mount point and put it under the gun here, and then insert the large bolt through. And once that goes all the way through, you can put the retaining nut on the side here. Okay, let me close this up here for now. I'm going to set it up on its side. So here you'll take the feed hose, feed it through the bracket, and then feed it into the gun. If you can see, it goes right into the hole there. And it's really just a matter of press fitting it through. Push it into that hole, and it'll just capture a few threads on this feed spring. Again, it actually holds it very, very, very snugly, so this won't pop out in usage. There you go. That's in place. And you just need to reconnect the box mag up. Reinstall the battery. Actually, I forgot, I need to also hook up the trigger switch. Trigger switch is right here. And it helps to have this tucked away in the back. Just put it under there. The battery will fit snugly right here. Of course, keep it disconnected when you're not using it. And when you hook it up, and just tuck the wires down, close the lid, and you're ready to go. Make sure I'm not pinching any wires. That closes it, and it works.